another assault on your freedom, on your rights. Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. Today I'm talking about the Supreme Court ruling, 6-3 ruling, about Border Patrol agents and or maybe other federal law enforcement agents or any agents potentially within 100 miles of the border, of any border, where they no longer are held accountable in a court of law. You cannot sue them for damages, for misuse, for unconstitutionality, for nothing. So they lost that accountability. So now, basically, boil it down, where they can abuse you, they can enter your home without permission, without due course of law, without anything. They can pretty much do whatever the hell they want to do, and you really don't have any recourse of action now. Well, let's talk about that within 100 miles of the border. But first, if you guys enjoy the content, please subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. The little thanks to the heart would be greatly appreciated. Help support the channel. Also check us out on Patreon. Links in the description below. If you're looking for buckets of food, My Patriot Supply, preparewithap.com. Links in the description below also. Freeze-dried, long-term food storage, great stuff. But yeah, share the videos, comment below, do the things. I appreciate it. Within 100 miles of the border, well, that's where about, what, 2/3 approximately of the U.S. population lives. So a lot of people just lost a lot of rights. So what does this mean to us? Well, it can have big implications if you're in those areas. I need to look. I think I'm further than 100 miles from any border. I'm more than 100 miles from the ocean. I'm more than 100 miles from the Canadian border. So I think I'm good, but don't count on it. So if you're in these areas, and what do you do if, Border Patrol, federal law enforcement, whatever, kicks in your door and comes in? Well, if it's a no-knock raid, it's one of those things. It's tough. If it's a no-knock raid, like they kick in the door and they come in yelling, law enforcement, police, border patrol, whatever. Really, are you going to trust that? Home invaders do that stuff also. They're not stupid, and they may be dressed all in black, kitted out, tactical. That could be home invaders also. It's pretty easy to get a thing across the thing. This is Border Patrol or FBI or whatever, SWAT, police, sheriff. Yeah. So what do you do? Are you going to trust the fact that, I'm innocent, I'm not doing anything wrong, which I'm not? Am I going to just let them come in and do whatever they want? Look around wherever they want? Do they have a warrant? What do you do? If it's a knock, hey, we're law enforcement, we want to come in, well, what's the first thing you should do? Tell them, okay, I acknowledge your presence, and not open the door. Don't open the door. Okay, yes, you are law enforcement. I acknowledge your presence. I am currently making a call to verify your legitimacy. Then you call 911. But let them know, because if you don't, they may kick in the door anyway. So then you call 911 and you verify, say, hey, my name is so-and-so, I live at so-and-so, there's law enforcement officers outside my door trying to gain access to my home. And then they'll tell you, yes, they're supposed to be there because they're, whatever, they have a search warrant or whatever it may be. Or they may say, oh, well, they're at the wrong address, which happens. You guys hear about it. Or they'll be like, oh, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. And then they're not actually law enforcement. They're just trying to gain access to your house in the easiest fashion possible, which is you opening the door for them. Be smart, but also be ready to protect what you have and your privacy and your freedom. your rights. They don't have the right to enter your home for no reason, without a warrant. No. Yes, baby. All right, love you. It is a difficult thing to talk about. A lot of people will be like, oh yeah, I'll just grab my tool and, pop, 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 pop. Well, there's a lot of repercussions potentially from that. It's a shaky area to talk about. But the way I look at it is I have to be able to defend my family and protect us. And like I said, I'm not doing anything wrong. There's no reason for them to come here. I think I'm 100 miles from the border anyway, at least. And my local sheriff is a constitutional sheriff, and his deputies are, for what I've seen, good deputies. So it's not something I'm worried about necessarily. Is it something you should be worried about? Not necessarily. Because, there's, like I said, there's a lot of people live in those areas. Does that mean that they can be able to come in and to do whatever they want to everybody? No, they're not. The biggest implication this has is the fact that the ruling exists at all, and where it can go from here, and setting a precedent and allowing more and more freedoms and rights to be stricken from us, which they can't do because they don't control rights or freedoms. Government does not give us our rights or our freedoms. I believe that God gave me my rights and my freedoms. Everybody doesn't agree with that, but that's okay. You can look at it as just an aspect of human being a life, that you have certain rights and certain freedoms. I've talked in the past before how the Constitution, rights, freedoms, all this kind of stuff, it's not a left versus right thing. It's not a white versus black thing. It's not a Muslim versus Christian thing. It is a human thing, and it's not even a citizen of the United States thing. It is rights are given to you by God. It is protected. They are protected by the Constitution. These rights, like I said, are not liberal or conservative, left or right, or anything like that. They're for everybody. So I don't know why or how people can politicize rights and freedoms, because it has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with human beings and our sovereignty. I guess people that want to take our sovereignty away from us, yeah, I don't like that, obviously. I'm a big proponent of freedom, of free will, of my rights and my liberties. Very important to me. Just leave me alone. I'm not doing anything bad. I'm not hurting anybody. Just leave us alone. Let us do our thing. I just want to garden. I just want to do my thing. I just want to prep. I just want to play with my kids. Stuff like that. So this is a big deal. And another potential big deal is the whole Roe versus Wade thing, which we know for a fact, no matter which way that goes, that there will probably be increased violence in certain locations, in certain areas, within certain groups of people. It probably will happen. So look for that. Like I talked about recently also, midterms. There's always more violence, anger, strong emotions regarding that whole process. I don't have any emotions with that whole process because I know that it's just a bunch of BS. I know that if voting actually gave us some say or some power in the matter, then they wouldn't let us do it anyway. So, I'm not saying I don't or that I do. What I'm saying is that the whole I'm very disillusioned with the entire political process in the United States. I do not believe that our problems can be solved politically. Because I don't believe that most of the politicians out there have our interests at heart. I believe that most of them are controlled by more powerful and influential people behind the scenes. And I believe we've set ourselves down a path that is almost irrecoverable in any normal method, any maybe peaceful method even. Maybe it needs to be maybe the only option is a non-peaceful method. I don't know. Do not advocate that whatsoever. Do not want that whatsoever. Do not hope for that whatsoever. But we have to look at the reality of the fact that that may be the only recovery from this, which would be a very bad thing for a lot of people. And maybe damage our country irreparably. But I don't know. Just think about these things. Be aware. Be ready, trained, equipped, and of solid mental state. Know where your convictions lie. Know what you are or are not willing to do. Very important. I love you guys very much. I hope that these videos and everything I do empowers you, teaches you, lifts you up. That's why I do it. I want to get more people into preparedness. Remember that prepping is living insurance. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.